Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma warzuqni fahma. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Good morning everyone. And also good afternoon. Good afternoon everyone. Hopefully that my voice can clearly be heard. Okay. I'm so happy to be able to meet you all, especially those English teachers from the Philippines, yeah? University of Pangasingan. Yeah, I've never been there. Hopefully one day that I can visit your university. My name is Endang. I'm professor especially on applied linguistics. Yeah, mostly my work on applied linguistics, second language acquisition, and psycholinguistic, as well as language teaching, especially foreign language teaching methodology. My paper's already been published in many journals, reputable journal, international journal, Scopus Index journal, etc. So you can find my my paper just by browsing Endang Fauziati, and then will pop up. Okay. Okay, good. And for this time, I will present my paper entitled on the how linguistic and foreign language teaching are connected. So some of the, okay, so contribution of linguistic theories to EFL teaching, English as foreign language. You may either say EFL or ESL, but in Indonesia, of course, English is a foreign language. Only for some few students, especially in very big country like a big city in Jakarta, for example, English is their second language. But nationally, English in Indonesia is a foreign language. Unlike in the Philippines, English is a second language. Okay, so some topic that I'm going to present, this afternoon is the linguistic theory and language teaching, how this relate, and then the importance of understanding linguistic, especially in language teaching, and then contribution of linguistic theory in language teaching. And then I would like to link how some linguistic theory and the emergence of some EFL teaching methodology like traditional grammar, structural linguistic, transformational generative grammar, sociolinguistic, systemic functional linguistic, etc. So from this, we can see that this also represent a state of the art of the development of linguistic theory, especially also state of the art of the development of foreign language teaching methodology. Okay. So linguistic theory and language teaching, how they relate. So both linguistic, language teaching, both concerns with language. The teacher is concerned with the teaching something which is the object of study, that is language. Linguistic provide language teacher with insight for the interpretation of language learning. So two aspects which are very important in foreign language teaching methodology is linguistic theory and learning theory. So linguistic theory answering the question of what to teach. So of what to teach, of course, develop from time to time. In the past, grammar translation method, and currently, especially in Indonesia, people are language teachers are recommended to use systemic functional linguistic. So language teachers have always looked to the linguist for guidance on how to teach. and especially what to teach. Linguistic help teacher better explain about the specific of language item to teach. Linguistic influence our general orientation and approaches to teach language. Because you see that the definition of what is language, of course, different from period to period. What is language according to structural linguistic? Of course, different from what is language on the perspective of sociolinguistic or on the perspective of systemic functional linguistic. The importance of linguistic and language teaching. The increased awareness of linguistic make language teachers more competent and therefore become better language teachers. So teachers should be competent, especially the pedagogical competence, professional competence related to the material they are teaching, that is language. So by understanding language, by understanding linguistic, they become more competent teachers because they know for sure what to teach. Because they know for sure what to teach and then they know how to teach it. Linguistic insight will improve teachers' understanding of the nature of language and consequently the nature of learning. So the nature of learning and the nature of language provide the basis for teaching. Without linguistic, of course, it will be difficult for language teachers to describe what they are doing. Linguistic is an essential part of teachers' competence. So you can see that's the contribution. Linguistic provide the best description of language. Applied linguist takes insight from linguistic and applies them to the areas including language teaching. So these are the relation. So linguistic theories, yeah, especially from the linguists, they never concerns about how to teach language. They just concerns with the nature of language. So these are supply linguists in the middle, in the better of linguistic. These become the mediator between linguists, the theorists, and the practitioners, us, teachers here. So applied linguists commonly interpret how to teach, what to teach. So they interpret the linguistic theory, yeah, in the especially for the development of curriculum syllabus, yeah, as well as the methodology. So I just want to share to you this how foreign language teaching methodology, especially in Indonesian context, developed from long time ago. Yeah, so curriculum, linguistic theory. So this I told you that represent the state of the art of the development. So in the past, yeah, you still somewhere, yeah, 1954, eh? Traditional grammar, yeah, traditional grammar, language acquisition, cognitivism, behaviorism, yeah, behaviorism. So the characteristic of foreign language teaching methodology in the past based on traditional grammar is grammar transition method. Then structural linguistic, yeah, structural linguistic, of course, it has a different conception of the nature of language, the marriage between structural linguistic and learning theory, especially behaviorism, come into existence. Foreign language teaching methodology called audiolingual method. Of course, most language teachers very familiar with this. So you can see also the development of this. Changings in the perspective of language. Of course, it's result in the changing of the perspective of what to teach and how to teach it. So this one, structural linguistics, still structural linguistics. And then starting from curriculum, yeah, functionalism. Curriculum 2013, it's the current curriculum is curriculum 2013. In Indonesian context, especially, the change of paradigm from structural linguistic to functionalism or systemic functional linguistic, starting from curriculum 2004. So from curriculum 2004, the introductions of new teaching methodology in Indonesia, especially by curriculum developer who were graduated from, mostly they graduate from Australia. So that's why they bring home to Indonesia holiday. But in the past, yeah, Indonesian was much colored by American linguists like Delham as well as British linguists. But starting from curriculum 2004, 2006, and then 2013, teaching English, EFL in Indonesia is colored by functionalism, systemic functional linguistic, especially by Holiday, Australian linguists. Okay, you can see this change of paradigm and theory of language. Of course, it results in the change in language competence. What is language competence? Language knowledge. Change paradigm of learning, of teaching. Yeah, also change the curriculum. Okay, change the curriculum, change teaching methodology, then improvement of learners' language competence. So what is language competence? Of course, the theory of language competence, the theory of language knowledge also developed from period to period. So in the past, maybe Chomsky just talked about competence performance, and then Dilhan talked about communicative competence, and currently Marcia talk about communicative competence with some competencies like socio-linguistic competence, linguistic competence, actional competence, discourse competence, etc. So you can see how this developed because of the contribution of linguistic theory. This I can also show you how these are linked. Learning theory, language theory, linguistic is here. Linguistic theory, learning theory. So the marriage between linguistic theory and learning theory, yeah, give a birth to the kind of syllabus, curriculum, teaching method, instructional material, etc., etc. So this. So different theory, different curriculum, different syllabus, different instructional material. So you can see how these are linked with one another. Linguistics and EFL teaching, as I told you in the introductions, you can see this. State of the art of the development of linguistic theory, you have traditional grammar. Of course, the starting point is in England, yeah, British, yeah, grammar translation method, because if we trace back to the development of foreign language teaching methodology, we came to British. especially the teaching of Latin as a foreign language. And then structural linguistic, when you concerns with structural linguistic, of course, you go to United States. Yeah. The popular figures of structural linguistics come from United States. So American linguists, British linguists, American linguists, and then this one, Australian linguists. And some other theories related to linguistic is that contrastive linguistic, transformational generative grammar, mentalist, yeah, cognitivist, mentalist group. This especially being represented by Chomsky. And then sociolinguistic, you remember Delheim. His contribution, especially with the theory of communicative competence. With the existence of this theory, of course, the teaching methodology also changes. So you know, communicative language teaching. You can see in the past, grammar translation method, and then structural linguistic, you have direct method, situational language teaching, audiolingual method in United States. Direct method, especially in Europe, situational language teaching also in Europe, as well as Europe and Australia. Audiolingual method developed in United States. Contrastive analysis. So the contribution of contrastive linguistic is contrastive analysis. It's very good idea in developing material, instructional material, and developing curriculum. Yeah, so they use contrastive linguistic as the basis. The analysis is called contrastive analysis. So mostly in the past, when people try to design material, they have to conduct contrastive analysis. And then error analysis, and then interlanguage analysis, transfer analysis. So these are actually the result from contrastive linguistic. And then you have cognitive code learning, yeah, mentalists from Chomsky, yeah. Chomsky, because you see Chomsky is against, especially with the behaviorist theory. So he focused more on how language is processed in the brain. So that's why come into existence foreign language teaching methodology called cognitive code learning, grammar teaching, etc. So this a bit current conception on 1919, yeah, communicative competence. This systemic functional linguistics, starting in Indonesian context, starting from curriculum 2004, 2006, 2013. So there's one, traditional grammar, GTM, grammar translation method. What is grammar translation? What is traditional grammar? So when we talk about traditional grammar, we talk about the framework of Greek and Latin language, that we describe language, for example, by analyzing the language into unit of analysis. So part of speech, yeah, when we talk about part of speech, yeah, this come from traditional grammar. So Latin language, because in the past, yeah, before in maybe the first, second until 5th century, so Latin was the language of the world, the language of commerce, education, religion, etc. So Latin provides universal framework for analyzing language. Solely it focused more on written rather than oral language. Why? Because in the 12th century, 14th century, Latin was a dead language, no longer exist the people who speak Latin. We can only find Latin in literature. Grammar translation method. So GTM is quite influenced by traditional grammar. This is okay, grammar translation method. It's good idea for especially for to develop the mind. Good mental exercises, learning foreign language as mental exercises. So solely focus on the teaching of grammar deductively. Then from grammar, traditional grammar, then come into existence structural linguistic. Structural linguistic, especially in United States, yeah, American linguists. So we say structural linguistic or descriptive linguistic. These become the basis for some foreign language teaching methodology, especially audio-lingual method.
Prof, 2 more minutes here.
Okay, I will. Okay. This one, the pyramid of linguistic, when structural linguistic, you know, there is the pyramid of language, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantic. So you can see this, yeah, major level of language structure. What is the language? What is language? The structure of language. Structure within a structure. This one, audiolingual method. Yeah, audiolingual method. Example of audiolingual method, lot of repetition. Why? So repetition, inflection, replacement, completion is the influence from behaviorism. So at that time, linguistic theory is much the tendency to have what is it? Structural linguistic, and then learning theory is behaviorism. So you can see this contrastive analysis. Contrastive analysis, that's the basis of contrastive linguistic. Contrastive linguistic, contrastive analysis, error analysis. You can see this, how contrastive linguistic work, how error analysis work. So from contrastive linguistic, from contrastive analysis, and then come into Zen. So this is the way that theories develop. One theory developed, people against this and develop a new theory, but not totally new. Of course, they brought with it some good insight that's still applicable. Okay, so this one, the theory, how this complement to each other. You also have the idea of what is transfer, language transfer. What is positive transfer? What is negative transfer? Analysis. Sociolinguistic. Okay, Delheim. You remember Delheim, yeah? Communicative competence. Yeah, and currently a theory of communicative competence, this one. This figure from Sales Marcia. What is the idea of the knowledge of language? Delheim called communicative competence. So discourse competence in the middle, and then supported by some competencies, sociocultural competence, national competence, strategic competence, and linguistic competence. Transformational grammar, TGG, that's Chomsky, mentalist, cognitivist. Yeah, Chomsky talk about competence and performance. And then the teaching methodology of cognitive code learning. Systemic, this is the latest conceptions of linguistic that is currently Indonesian government recommend most teachers to use this. So that's why if you study in Indonesia, yeah, you will have some subject, yeah, on linguistic. Of course, the linguistics that will be given to all the students as systemic functional linguistic, not traditional linguistic, not structural linguistic, but systemic functional linguistic. Why? Because the government, Indonesian government, currently recommend the material development, the syllabus, yeah, are based on systemic functional linguistics. So the marriage between systemic functional linguistic and constructivism. Constructivism is the learning theory from behaviorism, cognitivism, humanism, and constructivism. So constructivism with systemic functional linguistic give a birth to the existing foreign language teaching methodology called genre-based instruction or genre-based approach. You remember, you know this because it's quite popular right now. So this is one of the, we call it as learning cycle in teaching based on genre-based. So this conception, yeah, by applied linguists, yeah, they have the idea of language from systemic functional linguistic and the idea of learning from Vygotsky, especially social constructivism, especially from Vygotsky with zone of proximal development, the scaffolding theory from Brunner, etc. Okay, to sum up this one, what is the contribution of linguistic to foreign language teaching? So this one, just quote some, yeah, and you see that this represent the state of the art of the development, both in linguistic theory as well as foreign language teaching methodology, and also some analysis. Yeah, we call it as analytical tool for analyzing learner language, like contrastive analysis, transfer analysis, error analysis, interlanguage analysis. But the current conception, of course, people are now talk about no longer EFL, but English as lingua franca. That's different thing. Okay. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully that my presentation is beneficial for you, yeah, to open the horizon, especially on linguistic and language teaching. And okay, back the floor to Pak Heri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Endang Fauziati, for the presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the participants, if you have any idea or share your thought or any question regarding for the presentation that you have already shared from Ms. Endang Fauziati, you may have your time for having it in the question and answer session after the 5 presenter for this afternoon. However, you can also write it down in the chat room right now, and it will be discussed after all the presenters finish their presentation. And for the next presenter, I would like to invite Ms. Zuhriha. Yeah? Ms. Zuhriha, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. So for Ms. Zuhriha, this time is yours, 20 minutes from now. Thank you. This time is yours.
Okay, Pak. Okay.
Yes.
Can I do the presentation right now?
Yes, please, Ms. Zuhriha.
Yes. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Siti Zuhriya, and I would like to talk about implementation of STEAM in teacher professional education program. But before coming to that topic, I would like to introduce Indonesian qualification framework. Yeah, this is the chart. Yeah, Indonesian qualification framework here is to know the position of what we call professional education within the overall education system. Okay, as in Philippines, I am so sure that you have general high school. Here in Indonesia, we have three types at least, yeah, of high school. The first is general high school. The graduate of general high school is projected to take strata 1, or maybe you name it as bachelor degree if they enter university. Later on, they are able to take master's degree. This is master's degree, and this one is PhD. We name as strata 1, strata 2, and strata 3. On the other side, yeah, this path is called learning progress in science development. So this is the pathways. And the second side, the next side, we are able to find out learning progress in skills and professional development. Yeah, the graduate of vocational high school is projected to take Diploma 1. So D1 here stands for Diploma 1 up to Diploma 4. If the graduate take Diploma 1, it means that they have 1 year to finish the study, and they will be recognized to have abilities in level 3 within the qualification framework. And the recognized ability will be as operator. If they take what we call Diploma 5, Diploma 4, they need 4 years to finish the study. They will be recognized to have the ability in level 6, and they also recognize to have ability as technician and analyst. Yeah, so here, the graduate of Diploma 4 and Strata 1 are equal. And after that, they are able to take professional education, but they are able to take what we call the next degree. Such like here, they are able to take what we call master degree for applied science, and also a doctorate degree for applied science. So here we come to professional education. The graduate of professional education will be recognized to have abilities in level 7 and 8, or in between, yeah. They are recognized to have ability as technician, analyst, or lower level of expert. Yeah, so the time needed to finish this study will be 1 year to 1 year to 1 year and a half. And this is the implementation strategy at higher education sector. Yeah, here, universities should fulfill such kind of qualities, such like accountability, compatibility, and producing graduate. RPL here is recognition of previous learning and quality insurance. It will be implemented on related to the type of higher education program, and then study program epistemology, recognition, title, and diploma supplement. Learning outcomes, we have a specific learning outcome for what we call for level 7 and education program. Yeah, here it is what we call the pathways of improving qualification level. To improve the qualification level, there are some pathways, such like through formal education, through professional certification, through self-learner, and through career advancement. Yeah. And this is the recognition of prior learning. Yeah, if someone wants to be recognized, yeah, for their prior learning, they are able, from the point of view of education, they should hold the diploma certificate or diploma supplement. From work career, they are able to improve their qualification framework if they hold the professional certificate, certificate of competence, award certificate, career, and etc., etc. So this is the position of the teacher, yeah, and the teacher here will be recognized because of the education and because of the career, work career. Okay, this is the learning outcomes for level 7. Yeah, the graduate of professional education should have the capability to carry out planning and managing resources under her or his responsibility and comprehensively evaluate her or his performance by using science, technology, art to estimate the organization strategy developed step. They should also have capability to solve science, technology, or an art problem, yeah, based on his or her scientific expertise through monodiscipline approach. And then capable to carry out research and take strategic decision, yeah, for the accountability and full responsible on all aspects under her or his expertise domain. So these are the capability, the learning outcomes that should be achieved by the graduate of professional education. This is the implementation in Indonesia. Yeah, teacher professional education program. There are two types. The first is a pre-service program, and the second is in-service program. For pre-service program, this program is what we call for the fresh graduate of Diploma 4 or Bachelor or Strata 1. This program has 40 credit hours. It should be taken in 2 semesters. 1 semester should be taken in campus, and 1 semester is in school. For in-service program, the students have been a teacher, and the teachers here should have 5-year experience in the teaching career in school. So that is why this is recognized. Their career experience here is recognized as a previous learner. Because of this recognition, they only what we call has to take 20 credit hours, and it will be taken in 1 semester, 3 months in campus, and 3 months in school. This is the model of the learning model. The first is workshop, full-day workshop. Yeah, it is conducted in campus. This workshop is conducted online. They should master the content of the major or their science. They should also master the pedagogical theories as well as the way to implement those theory. They should also design the lesson plan as well as research proposal. So they should design the lesson plan and research proposal. And then when they should go to school for teaching practice, the learning in school can be conducted in the model of blended learning. So it can be online and offline or mix of them. Yeah, it should implement the design. Which design? This design of lesson plan and design of research proposal. They should accommodate TPEC, technological, pedagogical content knowledge, and also should accommodate STEAM. Yeah, science, technology, engineer, art, and mathematics. In school, they will be facilitated and supervised by one senior teacher and one lecturer, and they should report. Yeah, it is the next. Yeah. When they do workshop in campus, the modules, all modules are provided by the government. The learning management system is also provided by the government. Yeah, use problem-based learning mostly. And in the workshop here, we should accommodate TPEC as well as STEAM. When they are in school for teaching practice, the teaching practice should be recorded, and the supervisor, the teacher, and the lecturer will sit in the class. Jadi, so the teacher here sometimes should what we call follow the process of teaching learning. The LMS is provided by the government. They should implement TPEC and STEAM, and they should implement the research design. And this is the STEAM. It is the topic. It is a very small topic. STEAM education is an approach to learning that uses science, technology, engineer, the art, and mathematics to access point guiding students' inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. I think it is a little bit difficult to understand and to implement. So we need such kind of operational paraphrase. And I find out here, yeah, it is the paraphrase of STEAM. Yeah, here, science here means that the students should documenting, observing the environment and phenomena. So science here is environment and phenomena. The next, they should they should apply science for practical uses. Then designing building using engine, machine, and structure. This is science. This one is technology. This one is engineer, and this is the art. The art here is paraphrased as expressing or applying human creative skill and imagination. And this is the M, mathematics. Mathematics, studying numbers, quantities, shape, and the relation between them. Yeah. So all of this what we call element should be implemented in the teacher professional education. The steps of implementing STEAM will be started from focus. Yeah, in this step, the lecturer provides an essential question to answer or problem to solve. It is important to have clear focus on both how this question or problem relates to the STEM, yeah, without art, and the art, yeah, content areas. The second step will be detail. During the detail phase, the students are looking for the element that are contributing to the problem or question. And then the next will be discovery. Discovery here is the step Yeah, discovery is all about active research. It is used to answer the questions at the first phase and also the to answer the question and also to solve the problem. Here, the teacher can do intentional teaching. In this step, students are researching current solution as well as what isn't working based on the solution that already exists. The next will be application. Application here is where the fun happens. Yeah, this is the art. After the student focus on the problem or question and have analyzed current situation, they can begin to create their own solution or composition to the problem. They use the skills, processes, and knowledge that were taught in the discovery stage and put them to work. Yeah. The next will be presentation. It is important that the work is presented for feedback and as a way for expression based on the students' own perspective surrounding the questions and problem at hand. This is also an important opportunity to facilitate feedback and help students learn how to give and gain input. This is the last. The last will be the link. Yeah. Here, the students have a chance to reflect on the feedback that was shared on their own process and skill. Based on the reflection, students are able to revise their work as needed and to produce an even better solution. So that is the steps of implementing STEAM in the education process. The sixth step, focus, detail, discovery, application, presentation, and link, should also be accommodated by the students when they make the lesson plan and when they do the teaching practices in school. Yeah, so that is the implementation of STEAM idea in the process of teacher professional education program. Thank you very much. Okay, Pak Hari, I think that's all for what I have to deliver right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for Ms. Siti Zuhriah for the presentation. Okay, I'm going to repeat once more for everyone here who have any question. You may write it down in the chat room, or after the end of the fifth presenter, there will be the question and answer session. You may share it there. Okay, yeah. And at the end of this meeting, I'm going to share you the attendance list after the fifth presenter. And now, without any further ado, I'm going to invite for the next presenter, the presenter number 3, Miss Rini. Are you here, Miss Rini? Are you ready? Bu Rini Fatmawati, Miss Rini Fatmawati. Bu Rini. Bu Rini, are you here? Okay, Bu Rini has already shared the screen. Can you hear my voice, Bu Rini? Bu Rini, Miss Rini Fatmawati.
Oke, Pak Hari. Oke.
Okay, this time is
Thank
yours.
you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oke.
Waalaikumsalam.
Oke, Pak Hari. Sorry, Pak Hari.
20 minutes, Miss Rini.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Ya.
wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the time given to me, Pak Hari.
Yes, I can.
And it is the first time for me to meet the teachers of Philippines, although in a far distance, in an online meeting. I'm very happy. Okay, in this chance, we will discuss the curriculum, the junior high school curriculum of English. And of course, we know that curriculum is a text. So before it is applied in the teaching and learning process, we have to be able to comprehend it. Before we, first of all, we have to know the definition of the curriculum. Well, actually, curriculum can be defined differently because of the different point of view and background of knowledge that the people, society, or experts have in education or curriculum. Then there are many questions here to answer. What is meant by curriculum? In the traditional point of view, curriculum is a set of courses that must be followed by the students to get the degree or certificate. This definition of curriculum means that there are many lessons containing the knowledge and information that must be transferred to the students. So in the junior high school, there are many, there are English subjects, of course, in the first, second, and third year. Then there is another definition of curriculum. Curriculum, according to Richards et al., is defined as an educational program which states three things. They are the educational purpose, the content, teaching procedure, learning experiences, and some means of assessment. It is, of course, the curriculum of a certain subject. For example, the curriculum of English for junior high school, there is an educational purpose, and the content, teaching procedures, and learning experiences here are used to achieve the educational purpose, and some means of assessment here is used to assess whether or not the educational purpose has been achieved. And the content here is described in a syllabus. So based on this definition of curriculum, syllabus is a part of the curriculum. The next question, what is meant by competency standard? Or in Indonesian, it is called SK, standard competency. Competency standard here is the goal of teaching a lesson. The goal of teaching a lesson. It is what we call a wide, it is a general purpose of teaching a lesson. It is not the objective, but the goal. Goal and objectives are different from each other. Then, what is meant by basic competency, kompetensi dasar in Indonesian. Basic competency is the general objective of teaching an item. On syllabus, there are many items that must be taught to the students, and in each item here there is what we call general objective, or there is basic competency. Well, actually, general objective is the last term. Sorry, the first term. The first term or the other terms of basic competency. The former term is general objective. There is a general objective and a specific objective. They are former terms. Then here there is an example of the basic competency of English for junior high school, English in the 7th year. Based on this basic competency, we have to know which one belongs to the affective domain, not affective, knowledge, and skill domain. The first and the second one, if the basic competency is like this, the first and the second one here belongs to the affective domain. The third one belongs to the knowledge domain. The 4 and 5 here belongs to the skill domain. But in number 5 here, to catch the meaning in the descriptive text, it is we have to know what is meant by this basic competency. It is only limited to the catching the meaning on the text. Of course, it is not what we call wide. It is more specific since it is only limited to the meaning of the words and the sentences on the text. It does not what we call explicit or implicit information. Then reference are not taught if we find such a basic competency. So we have to know what is meant by this basic competency. It is more specific. It is quite different from if to comprehend the text. For example, if the basic competency is to comprehend the text, it is general. It involves many things. It is not only catching the meaning of the words. Then the next question is, what is the difference of the following things? Standard, basic, and teaching objectives. They are different from each other. We have to know the difference of them. As competency standard can be assessed through the achievement of basic competency, but cannot be measured. Basic competency can be assessed through the achievement of teaching objectives, but cannot be measured. Whereas teaching objectives can be assessed and measured by using means of measurement. Besides those differences, of course, competency standard is more general than the basic competency, and basic competency is more general than the teaching objectives. So the most specific one is the teaching objectives. Then what is meant by syllabus? Syllabus is a description of the content of instruction in which they are to be taught. Based on this syllabus definition, it means that there is a certain number of items in a syllabus and they are arranged in a certain order. This is the definition of syllabus. So based on the English syllabus of the 7th year, like this, for example, it is the example, we have to be able to recognize whether the item here, there is an enough number of item or not. Of course, the item on a syllabus here is based on the standard competency.
Now our modality they hold
and we have to know which one is the easiest one, because it relates to our teaching. We have to teach the easiest one, whether they are difficult or easy. Of course, or the level of difficulties here depends on the vocabulary and the grammar on the text. The vocabulary, of course, the words used more frequently on the text is easier than those those who are not used frequently. And the simple sentences on the text, if the text contains the simple sentences, of course, the text here is easier than those containing the more complex sentences. Okay, the next, what is meant by scientific in here there are many steps, many activities included in the observation, questions, exploration or experiment, association or analysis, and communication. The activities included in the observation questions here are the text theory, about the text theory, the theory of the text, such as what we call language feature, text organization, and the other ones. And then exploration and association here. The activities included in the exploration and association here is that the other texts must be listened or read by the students, and what is included in the communication here is actually the skills of English, either listening, speaking, reading, or writing. Then what is meant by authentic assessment? Authentic assessment is a significantly meaningful assessment of the student's result of learning in terms of the attitude, knowledge, and skill domain. And since assessment here is used to assess whether or not the goal must be achieved. Of course, a means of instrument must be relevant to the teaching objectives. Teaching objectives in terms of attitude, knowledge, and skill. So in this case, we have to be able to recognize the cognitive objective, affective, and psychomotor objective. And actually, the authentic assessment here will be discussed in detail by Bu Syahara. That's why it's better for me not to discuss it in detail. Well, I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for Miss Rini Fatmawati. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to move for the next presenter. There will be Miss Syahara Dina Amalia, MAD. So for Miss Dina Amalia, Miss Syahara Dina Amalia, this time is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pak Hari. Bu Rini, can you please screen share? Because I will
just a moment
share. Yeah, I will share the screen. Thank you, Bu Rini. Okay. Okay, so I'm already sharing my screen. Can you all see it? Is it already there, Pak Hari?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, all the participants and all the speakers. Right now, I will try explaining. This is actually our research that is still ongoing between, actually this. Okay, I forgot to put my first name. Sorry. So this research, elevating students' listening skill through authentic assessment, is being done and still being done by me, Bu Mauli, and then other researchers. So we haven't reached the final product yet, but we actually came from the idea of this idea that you can see here, that listening activities, which are usually in the form of assignments, because like there are less theories that rather than other subject or course that are heavily based on theory. So there are too many assignments in which the listening to normally teachers only give the students listening text and then listen and then like summarize or answer this and that and so on and so forth. But this kind of activities have not been able to explore students' listening ability in an optimum way. So so we kind of figure out why is it so. And then in addition, in other part, but which is still connected, the assessment model that is still widely used by many teachers are still in the form of traditional assessment. Bu Rini just mentioned about the authentic assessment before, but yeah, let me explain further, because this is what we are still doing in our research. So this traditional assessment is deemed, it is it cannot truly kind of assess the student's ability, especially here in listening skill or listening activity. And then another assumption based on many research that we have concluded, authentic assessment has also not been optimally applied in ELT areas, especially again in listening subjects. So we try to kind of compile theories in listening that leads to this kind of gap or question. Yeah, maybe some of you have read that listening skill is deemed as a Cinderella skill. We all know what who Cinderella is, right? She is what is it? Stepsister of two other sisters, yeah, from different mother, and then she's often like differently or mistreated, and they're not considered as important enough as the other sisters. So that's actually, according to Zohre in 2013, what listening skill is. So you can imagine listening skill is differently treated than other language skills such as writing or speaking that are, let's say, considered as more productive than listening skill. And then in some of the theories, we found that listening assessment itself should cover observable performance. It's been highlighted with red ink, yeah, just as what is down below here. This is, of course, this is linked to each other, yeah. One of the main principles in assessment process is in the form of observable performance, the performance that should be able to be observed by the teachers. But how about listening? In speaking, it is easily observed by the teacher from the way the students, let's say, having a speech or debate or so on and so forth. But how about listening? Because listening process or nor the product itself cannot be observed, because we know that listening process, the process comes from ear to brain. So it's like, how to say, invisible from our like naked eyes. And then the product itself of listening can only be detected by MRI scanner. So we can imagine how it is treated like Cinderella, just like other language skills. And then the listening result itself, how they not it is what is usually detected only from the way the teacher kind of observe their students. If they nod their head, it means they understand. But sometimes when I throw kind of joke or just light joke to the students, and then when they don't laugh, does it always mean that they don't understand? But sometimes some students like just show their flat face. Sometimes they understand, but they, okay, that's not that funny, but I understand. Sometimes they do so. So it is quite tricky. So I can assume that listening, teaching listening itself is quite challenging and tricky to teach, to make them really master their listening skill, and by using the strategies. So before I mention further about the authentic assessment and listening, years ago I did research in listening task, characteristics of listening task in some English textbooks from senior high school. I used 4 English textbooks that I scrutinized, and then I tried to find what types of listening tasks are there in those 4 books. And so I adopted 2 models from Wilson and Luntz. Wilson himself, he studied 4 textbooks, and then he found these types of tasks. Yeah, the 81 tasks means these are the most tasks that he found in those for textbooks. Yeah. So this one, listening and reading, is, let's say, the least found in the textbook. So in Wilson's, he found that most of the listening tasks are in the form of listening to check answer, and then listening and answer questions. We all normally do that in our listening class, and then listening and completing sentence or notes, and so on and so forth. And then Lund's category, he managed to kind of formulate several of this, listening by doing, and then by choosing or matching and transferring and answering to, just the same as what Lund found in 4 textbooks. And so I'm going to just give you a snippet of what I did back then. So this circled in red are the most found in the 4 textbooks that I scrutinized. This, and this book. And then, as you can see, I'm going to kind of to summarize that what I found is that so here, wait a minute. Here you can see that the mostly found listening tasks in the 4 textbooks that I scrutinized was listening and answer question. Again, this is like the most typical listening task that we do. And then the second most is listening and completing sentences or notes, like with the fill in the blanks or sort of those kind of things. And then listening and repeating orally. This is probably like the easiest task. But sometimes if we think about pronunciation, this can be difficult for some of the students. And then based on Lund's categories, I found that the most found task is answering. So listen and then answer. And then the second one is listen and choose or match. Maybe like pictures or let's say some phrases, short phrases. And then the third mostly found is listening and model one. So this says practicing at listen, just like this. Listening and repeating orally. This probably are quite the same, yeah. And then I also found some new categories that are not found in both Wilson's and Lund's models. So by looking at this, my previous research, it can be concluded, or it can be questioned whether, like, is it what we are supposed to do in our listening, teaching, in teaching listening, or should we explore more types of listening tasks that are more authentic in a way, in terms of materials and in terms of like the assessment. So another theories that we managed to compile regarding the assessment or authentic assessment itself is that Wiggins tried to challenge the traditional assessment. He questioned whether that traditional assessment that probably I can say that many of us still use, is it really able to measure the ability of our students with accuracy? And then also he also challenges the validity of traditional assessment itself, whether do they really or can they really assess our students' ability? I mean, the traditional assessment one. Yeah. And then O'Malley and Pierce, they also state that authentic assessment itself should include various forms of assessment that should reflect the learning, achievement, motivation, and also attitudes of the students or of our students. And then the activities in the class. Now, this is probably also important. The activities in the class should be relevant to learning. So, like, when we give the students listen to this and then answer, and then that's all, and then is it really what we want to give to them, or will the students be able to really explore their listening skill through those activities only? And then Wiggins also restates that the authentic assessment should integrate this practice doing assignment. So not only listen and then answer, but like doing probably like role play or something that is more authentic, that is linked to real life situations. That's what authentic assessment is trying to promote. And then seen from the tools that we can use in using authentic assessment, especially in listening, there are numerous actually. There are checklists, rubric. You can use rubric, and then rating scale, like from number this and number that, and then learning log, and then anecdotal record, and then performance assessment, just like I mentioned before, and then portfolio, and student self-assessment. Student self-assessment can be done by students to students, or like students to teacher, from teacher to students, or just their peers. And I'm not going to mention about this first. And then there are of course some characteristics that are also, or that become the strengths of authentic assessment itself. It says that tests should be seen as a central experience of learning. So mostly we give students tests just to figure out like how many, or how much score, or how many scores can they get. Yeah, but test itself should be their experience of learning. And then authentic assessments are seen as direct measures rather than the traditional assessment method. And then authentic assessment also can capture the constructive nature of learning. This term has been mentioned by Bu Endang before. And then it is also student structure, the thing that we want to promote more, to our students, just like probably similar to learner-centered. And then it also optimizes students' hot or higher order thinking skill. So we kind of compiled some previous studies, but I'm not going to mention one by one because they are too much to read. Yeah, but this I'm going to mention the last one that is related to the implementation of authentic assessment in listening. So I found two interesting articles which are done by Morales and Chavez Fernandez. So the result of their research that there are benefits already in using authentic assessment in listening. They say that there are positive links between the student self-awareness and then their goal setting, and then their sense of achievement, and then their critical thinking, and also their general knowledge and learner autonomy. So this is kind of like good news, when using authentic assessment, especially in listening. And then it can also provide opportunities for skills integration. This is also important, integrating skills, between those 4 language skills, or maybe more language skills. And then it also indicates a move from traditional testing to ongoing assessment, from norm reference to criterion reference evaluation. And then it should be applied more, in their classes, the classes that they are investigating. And then Tamayo's thesis, she or he, if I'm not mistaken, Tamayo also found that students with higher levels of anxiety get better results. when they take authentic test rather than the traditional one. So Tamayo figured out whether students with high anxiety, when they take the test of traditional and authentic, which one is like more comfortable for them. So Tamayo found that the students with higher levels of anxiety found authentic tests are more comfortable for them. Okay, so let me just go straight to the questionnaires that we did. So we did questionnaires for both students and teachers. We asked them this kind of questions, and then for the lecturers, actually, in our department, we asked them this kind of questions. So from this questionnaire that are shared to the students, we found that, again, this is still not final result because the research is still ongoing. So I kind of take a sneak peek from what have been compiled by the students, but we still do this research. It's still ongoing. So the kind of initial finding is that the tasks or assignments are mostly still typical listening answering tasks. Yeah, and then most are still in the form of traditional assessment. And then when we ask them just in listening activities, they found that they still have difficulties in audio quality, and then it's hard to understand the native speaker material, which is actually the more authentic one. And then there are also still students' lack of vocabulary skill, which makes them difficult to master their listening skill. And then only few students admitted to ever be assigned to create a journal, self-assessment, or reflection in listening courses, which leads to probably we can say that authentic assessment in listening in our department hasn't been fully applied yet, even though some of the lecturers already did so. And then many students are already aware in setting their own goals, which when taking these subjects or course, listening course. So it also leads to kind of they are self-aware with their own goal when they want to learn listening, which also leads to the later on the implementation of authentic listening, which should be or should help the implementation of authentic listening in our department. And then they are also aware to evaluate their own strengths and weakness while learning listening. From the teachers themselves, I'm afraid my time is done. Yeah, but I'll just recap this. From the lecturers, yeah, we found that again, this is still not fully done because we asked 5 lecturers, but there are still like 3 who have given the questionnaire back or filled the questionnaire. The tasks or assignments are still far from using the authentic type of materials. This is from the type of materials. And then we can conclude that mostly also still adopt traditional assessment to check students' understanding, like those typical listening and then answering or probably summarizing. And then some have used portfolio, but not in an ideal way, like not in a fully implementation of authentic assessment tools. Yeah. And then some haven't properly used authentic assessment tools, which I mentioned before, like journal or reflection practice properly. And then some lecturers already acknowledge and understood the nature of authentic assessment in listening skill itself, but probably again they haven't properly applied it in their listening classes. And I think that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention and appreciation. I'm waiting for probably some questions or ideas that can be shared to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Ms. Syahra Dina Amalia, for the presentation. And after this is going to be the last presenter for today, Mr. Fitri. And after Mr. Fitri presentation, I would like to share you. Oh, sorry, there will be the question and answer. So everyone, please prepare your question, or you may start your question right now on the chat room right now, and we will discuss it after the presentation of Mr. Fitri. And also after this, I'm going to share you the attendance list for you, the link for the attendance for today's webinar. Okay, for not waiting any further ado, let me call Mr. Fitri Kurniawan. This time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Hari. Yeah, I'm not sure how much time do I have.
I think you still have more, 15 minutes, Mr. Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully I can make it even shorter. So let's see. Thank you. Allow me to share screen, yeah, before introducing the materials. Is my screen now visually and visible?
Yes,
Hari?
clear.
It is.
Crystal clear.
It is.
Crystal clear.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for the time. I'm going to be the last speaker, but hopefully not the very least. Yeah, Pak Arya and all the participants. Good
Yes, of
afternoon, everyone. Selamat sore.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is the Philippines language for good afternoon?
Magandang hapon po.
Oh.
So hope everyone's still on, yeah. So because it's going to be like very late, and hopefully not very late, but yes, hope everybody's still following. I'm going to share one of the research that we already uploaded in an article in a journal. It's a phenomenological perspective of EFL students joining YouTube video-based class at Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta, English language teaching seminar with Pangasinan State University, the Philippines. I'm happy to share this here in the platform of webinar. This is not the first time, by the way. I have a good memories visiting Philippines in 2019. So mambuhay po. Yeah. Hopefully everybody is still listening. And no, even this time is virtually. Yeah. So this is where I start off. Everything teaching have been different. Teaching have been not the same since before and after pandemic. We are all going online. Then there have been many research on this. While many studies have discussed the issues of higher education shifted from online learning platform to be surviving and to keep the academic going, quite few specifically research focused on the student perception. So our project was actually, or this project focusing on the perspective of the student or the university student on joining a YouTube video-based YouTube classes. As we are already now in a different era, yeah. So everything's going online, and we are not anymore called Homo sapien. We are now called Homo fiden. We watch the video, therefore we are. So our student watching the video, and this is the fact: 8.4 per minute per day per person, and it can even more than that. Every day, people watch 1 billion hours of video on YouTube and generate billions of views. So what is it up to do with the teaching? So our students are migrating to the screen. They watch YouTube, but they don't have the time to watch us anymore, literally. So the teachers, the lecturers are struggling to get the view from the student. This is what we have now. That's happened because teachers can only, all of us, and educators, teachers, and lecturers can only have the meeting or the chance to meet the students virtually, like what we have today. Yeah, it's also nice to have this virtual webinar meeting, but it's at the same time it's different if we have sit in face-to-face physical meeting. For example, if we visited and fly to Pangasinan State University, and this is the problem: teacher can only meet students virtually. Competition to get the attention. This is where we live now. We have social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Yeah. And they are also exposed to our students. At the same time, they are dragged off. Yeah. We are now competing with this whole technology. The lecturers are not alone to get the attention of the students. Competition to get the attention. Teacher struggles to get the attention. This is where I start off thinking and scratch and start the project, because this is not an easy one. Yeah, we need to compete with technology and the student as well. Yeah, we are now in a screen generation. Yeah, the screen, we call it screen generation. Screen on. Yeah, everybody's on the screen. You are on the screen now. We are on the screen. Yeah, the only way we can see each other and share this whole thing is by screen. So I'm repeating myself. Then this is where all the thesis and hypothesis start. Why not teaching by using YouTube? Our attention, or our student attention, are now really suck up, drag off by this YouTube. One of them is YouTube, especially YouTube. Why then come up the idea of why not using YouTube? Why not us, teacher and lecturer, becoming YouTube? So our class can also be viewed by them in many time, 1,000 time hours, and so on and so forth. And here are the good list. You name it. All YouTube have it. Yeah, informative. Yes, YouTube is informative, interactive, facilitate discussions. We can discuss. Shareable. You can share at any platform, almost every platform online. It's economical relatively, because we can do this not synchronously. They can download it first and then go find the best signal, bandwidth, connectivity, internet. Then they can have it their own. It's accessible for free. There's no need to pay to sign up. So it's all good in the hood. Yeah. But then I start my class. Long story make it short. Long story short, then I turn out my class into YouTube based video, and this is my channel. I upload everything in there. It was all over at the first time. And it was fun at the same time, because they have this all, as I mentioned earlier, this all good in the hood features, and can be accessed by my student. Because the first major problem of the student and the first phase of pandemic in higher education teaching was how the student can actually cope with bandwidth, connection bandwidth, connectivity, and we can have this solution through YouTube. So this is the short way to join my class. Easy as it is. They have to subscribe my YouTube channel. They have to watch the video like on a weekly basis. They have to comment, share, and like. So I'm following the features. Easy as that. Upload an individual video. So at the same time, interactively, they upload their own video. So pretty much I set up the class based on what the features available on the YouTube. Then that's not a problem yet. Then it's been almost a year. It's more specifically more than 1 year. Then there's a time for us as a teachers to do the reflection. Do students enjoy my class? I think I was enjoy myself using YouTube, but I'm not sure with the student. Then come up with this study or research. The study then explored the perception of English department student joining English class, taught by using YouTube-based video learning at Universitas Muhammadiyah Surakarta. I think some of you in Philippines also already started this long ago, or even before the pandemic. So let's see how we can discuss about this later. I used the hermeneutic phenomenological research, which is focused on unfailing, undercovering the perception. What I feel is not necessarily what they feel. So in terms of perception, what I mean here by perception is student welfare. Is the curriculum is in line or achieved through this platform, or my students are accommodated through this platform? And this is the last, the finding. It might be a explicative theme still, because it's supposed to be in the real in the full article. It's actually break down into more detail, but mostly or generally these are the findings. The student can learn the material independently by having this video on, so they don't need to be in real time joining my class. They have this unique time. They can use their own internet bandwidth credit, or they can ask they can go for free one, and then they can learn because they still have me and my class through the audio video uploaded on the YouTube. The second one, the advertisement is abundant and distressing. I think this is not surprising. Once you get free, you are the victim, and YouTube is a free platform. Yeah, so there are a lot of advertisement pops up every time, and it's distracting. It's distressing at the same time. Students say it's actually distract them while they're teaching, while they're learning, because some more tempting video can come up at any time and at any corners in this on the screen. The third finding is the students are assigned to be more individualized in learning. This is in line in the spirit of disruptive learning now, disruptive era, where we have to be independent. The student as well, they have to find their way to join the class and to finish the course, and YouTube can actually accommodate that. And I think this is the bad news, which actually we can share. In the morning, I joined the webinar as well at the same topic in Savastep University in Laos, and we have this conversation on this topic quite profound and interestingly. Yeah, it's about the connections. Some students are excluded, kicked out automatically, yeah, by the connection, because they have issues on the broadband connectivity. They have poor internet connection, and I think those are some of the points that explicatively emerge in the finding. And I think these are ringing the bells of how we can actually cope up with this new platform of learning in university online. But at the same time, there are barriers and challenges. At the same time, opportunity for us to discuss further. So I'm looking forward to share this later on if we still have a session after this. I think that's it for me. It's quite short. Hopefully, we can have a further and upcoming discussion on this topic. Okay, thank you, Pak Hari. That's all from me, all the audience. Over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Fitri, for your presentation. So the presentation from Mr. Fitri, it means that it is the last presenter for today. I mean, so for this next agenda for today is going to be continued by the question and answer session. So for all the participants, for all the teachers here, if you have any concern, if you have any question or any thought that you are going to share for us, you're free to share with us, and you may directly to us or turn on your microphone here. Okay, so everyone, is there any question for all of the presentation from presenter number 1 from Prof. Endang, Miss Zuhriyah, and then Miss Rini, and Miss Syahara, and also Mr. Fitri. Do you have any question? Please, you may directly turn on your microphone and ask your question or suggestion or anything that you want to share.
Pak Hari, excuse me, Pak Hari.
Yes, please, Mr. Fitri.
Would you mind if I share my channel link on the chat so the participant can interact and go subscribe my channel, and we can actually discuss because it's actually a long process. I'm myself learning and would like to be more than happy to have some of our colleagues from Pangasinan State University to join in and collaborate. Do you mind?
Oh,
so I will copy paste.
Not at all, Mr. Fitri.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I copy paste on the chat room, yeah.
Yes,
dear participant and Bapak Ibu sekalian. Thank you, Po. Thank you.
Okay. We still have around 30 minutes based on the schedule before we close our webinar for today. So if you have any thought, any idea, any question that you want to share with us as a presenter, as a teacher, you're free to turn on your microphone, or maybe you may write it down in the chat room. I'm going to read it for you. Anyone's here? Maybe may I call one of you? Janet Palep. Are you listening? Janet Palep. Is that right? How do I address you? Janet Palep? No answer? Hello? Can anyone hear my voice here? For all the participants, for all the teachers here. As an English teacher, I'm sure that you have your own experience, you have your own idea or situation in your place regarding the topic that we have already discussed for today's seminar, in this afternoon seminar, webinar, sorry.
Pak Hari, I wonder what time is now in Philippines. Is it the same as us now? It's 3 in the afternoon now in Indonesia. Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it in Philippines?
For the information in Indonesia, right now we are right now at what time is it? Yeah,
3:08.
Yeah, 3:08.
Well, exactly. That's on
Yeah.
my screen. 3:08.
3:08.
Yeah.
3 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. So
anyone's here? Maybe anyone who's Virginia Geslani? Are you here, Virginia Geslani?
kuwi ana kancane Bu Susi jenenge kuwi.
Siapa sih?
Anybody home?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Abdillah.
Abdillah.
Do you have any thought or concern regarding the topic that we discussed for today? Oh, yes, for everyone, for the link for your attendance for today's webinar, I'm going to share it now in the chat room. So you may start to complete your attendance link. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's direct to Mishahara.
Pak Hari, I think somebody reply your questions. It's 4 p.m. here in Philippines. Oh, so it's like waktu Indonesia Timur ya?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already 4 there.
4, okay.
We have 1 hour gap of the time.
Ya, waktu Indonesia Timur ya. So, okay.
No, tengah.
An hour ahead, tengah.
Center.
Ya.
Okay, everyone. I have already shared the link for your attendance in this webinar for this afternoon. Actually, this is the second session for the webinar. So please, you may fill the link here. Everyone can see the link?
Yeah, it's
Zoho.
there.
Yeah, it's there, right? This Zoho link, so you may, what is that? You may write down your name, and also you may write down your signature there. We have already completed with the signature. So I hope that everyone will have no problem with that. What is that? Kind of attendance here today. So once more, is there any one of you who has any share or thought that wanted to be shared here in our discussion? We still have around 20 minutes to go before officially I'm going to, to close the session of this webinar to the second session here. How many members here?
Pak Hari,
yes.
I actually have a friend in Pangasinan, Sir. His name is Jesse Faragas. I wonder if he's joining us. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sir Paragas, yeah, Jesse Paragas.
Oh, Miss Regina Santos. Thank you for sharing your research with us. Very nice presentation for all the presenters from Miss Regina Santos. If you have more concern about the topic, Miss Regina or Miss Santos, how do I call you? Miss Regina? You also very welcome to share your idea, to suggestion or question regarding this presentation for today.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, I am just very grateful that there is partnership for sharing your researches with us. We have learned a lot from your presentations actually, and we will be using this knowledge or learnings for us also to conduct researches related to your researches. Okay, we are very grateful. Thank you for sharing those researches for us, with us.
Thank you po, Miss Regina.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Regina.
and also Sir Paragas is a faculty member of the ABEL. Yes, you are mentioning about Sir Paragas, but
Paragas,
I think he was
he
not
join,
able to join the
yeah.
maybe she has a class. That's why. Yes,
Okay, no
actually we have
problem.
classes. That is why we're doing a multitasking, listening
Great.
to you at the same time. Yes, having and conducting some classes. So
thank you.
but of
Appreciate
course, we
that.
are very grateful. Thank you very much. Especially the presentation about the YouTube. It's a timely research. Yes, it's a timely research.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Regina. Would you please send my warm regard to Sir Paragas? Yeah, because I remember we doing vlog when I went there to Pangasinan, and I'm uploading on YouTube. I mean, that was one of the things we did, and then now I remember. Yeah, my warm regard to Sir Paragas. Yeah, Miss Regina. And
okay, I'll extend your regard. Don't worry.
Thank you, po. Thank you.
Okay, po.
I actually just share the form, Google form, just like what other speakers in session 1 did before. So for all the participants, kindly fill the form. It's been shortened. Shortened. The URL has been shortened. So please kindly fill the form. How about the kind of deadline, Pak Hari? Like the link before? Is it until tomorrow?
Yeah, we have every participant have 24 hours to complete the works who was shared by the presenter here. So after all the participants complete the works, I mean from some presenters here, there will be the certificate given for all of you, by the way, for all the participants here. However, sorry.
No, it's
the certificate for all the participants.
It's not working way.
Tomorrow, I mean after all the participants here completed the the exercise, not exercise actually, the activity. I don't want to say exercise for activity from the presenters today. From the activity itself, everyone, you can see on the chat room. Some presenter like Miss Shahara already shared.
I shared the longer form of the link. Hopefully it works, because Miss or Mr. Lingayan said it's not working. My previous link, so I already shared it again. Thank you for filling out the form. Later on, you still have 1 day, so it's probably okay for you. Thank you for all the participants. So is there any question or insight?
Yeah, if there is no more question, I do not also bother for all the participants here to continue with their activity. Maybe if you have any agenda after this, I think I'm going to ask you one more time. If you have any idea, concern, question, suggestion, or everything that you want to share, you are very welcome to share it now in this forum, actually. Before I close officially for this webinar. Is there any one of you? Nope. If no,
it's done.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess it's done. Let's call it a day. But
yeah, I think it's time for call it a day if there is no more response. However, before we close officially our webinar for today, I hope that everyone here do not mind to open your camera in order to take the photo screenshot here for all of you. So there will be some kind of, what is that? Memory from all of us who joined this kind of webinar. Yeah, so everyone please, if you have any, what is that? Please, if you don't mind, please open up or turn on your camera. Prof. Endang, are you still here, Prof. Endang? Susan Tiangson, Virginia Gislani,
Susindi, Susi Kaono.
Susiati.
Who take the picture? Why don't you
I'm
count?
going to take it. But
Okay,
still
please
there are
count.
some. Lingayen.
So we can smile, yeah.
Susan, are you still here? If you don't mind, please turn on your camera. So I'm going to take your smile of the picture of your smile together. Let me count 1 until 3, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more time, please. One more time. Wait a minute. One more
Yeah,
time.
many times is okay.
Okay,
Go.
I'm going to wait a minute. Okay, one more time. So everyone, you can share with your finger or something, but not middle finger, please. 1, 2, 3, start now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for.
Thank you, Miss Regina. Thank you, PSU. Thank you, Po.
Thank you, Po.
Okay, so after this, I'm going to repeat once more. Please complete your link for the attendance for today. I have already shared to you in the chat. And
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think that's all for today's meeting.
Thank you.
I'm going to
Thank you.
officially close
Thank
the
you.
webinar by saying
Thank you.
thank you very much for all the presenters. Thank you very much for all the presenters. Thank you. It's an honor to conduct this webinar for all.
Thank you, Po. Thank you, Po.
Thank you, Po. What's the meaning of thank you, Po, by the way?
Salamat.
Salamat. Mabuhay, Po.
Thank you, Po.
Aku ki go melok-melok, Pak. Ning kono ki ngono ki apik.
Thank you, Po apa sih, Pak?
Matur nuwun.
Ada Po-nya gitu.
Iya, semua ada Po-nya. Magandang hapon, Po, gitu kan. Thank you, Po, gitu. Saya harap, Po.
Thank you everyone for
Pak Hari,
joining.
Po, gitu.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Pak Hari. Thank you, PSU.
Thank you all the presenters for Miss Zuria, Prof. Endang, Bu Rini, Bu Syah, dan Pak Fitri. Thank you very much for your presentation. Good work for
Bu
today.
Rini, thank
Let's call
you,
it a
Star
day.
Maker, Bu Rini.
Yeah.
Thank you for all presenters. Thank you for all participants. Hope we have some benefit from today's meeting.
Thank you, Mami Endang.
Thank you, Prof. Endang.
Green background-nya. Tempur Sari kayaknya Mami itu. Paddy Field ya.
Magandang hapon. Mang kita tayo apa itu?
Okay, so thank you very much, especially from the Philippines. Hopefully that we can do more collaborations with the UMS, especially with the English department. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye, Prof. Endang, Mom. Thank you very much for all of you. Okay, I'm officially close ya. 1, 2, 3, start. bisa. Bisa-bisa nih kok hilang.